Hi, everyone. I'm Sherry, also known as Sweet Melba. Thanks for joining me for another Sunday on the porch. Have you ever really thought about how your days are structured? Kind of, what your morning routine is like, what your day is like, what your evenings are like, and then kind of thought about what those days may look like once you retire. That's kind of what I've been thinking about. Or even, if you're not ready to retire, are your days structured in a way that you're really doing the things that you want and need to do at this point in your life? Well, I'm 48 days away from my retirement date, which is June 30th. So I've been thinking about this a lot more, kind of how my days are going to change or how I think they may change. You don't know till you get there, but I've been thinking a lot more about that. And I thought I'd share a little bit today about some of the things I've been considering on how I think my days may look a little bit different. So I guess I should start with what my day currently looks like. And I get up pretty early. I'm usually up by 5:30, 5:45, so I get an early start. And it's nice quiet time. My husband gets up a little bit later than I do. So, I get my coffee first thing and sit down and just kind of check in with stuff. So, like most of you, I check my emails, see if there's anything, that is sounds interesting. It kind of gives me a sense too if there's anything I need to do work wise that day. But I enjoy that time, and I've always got the TV on. I'm a Good Morning America person, so I enjoy watching that in my local channel too earlier. But again, it's kind of quiet time for me. I certainly, again, like to kind of check Facebook, things like that. So I think kind of things most people do, right? I also check in with my online exercise community that I recently joined. And so I've been enjoying that. And again, just really kind of slow and just checking in, as I say, on different things. And then my husband will get up, and I really enjoy the time that we have in the morning, just chatting about what's on the news or really talking about what our day may look like for each of us, or if we're not busy already, what we might be doing together, kind of a thing. So it's kind of, again, kind of checking in between him and I. So I really enjoy that aspect of my day as well. And then the other part of my morning is my exercise that I do. And that is, typically, I guess you'd say maybe about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, depending on what I'm doing, kind of a thing. And I'll talk a little bit more about that on some of the plans I have to kind of change that up a little bit. But so that's my morning, right? And then, depending on what my day is, since I still have my business, not retired yet, I usually work 2 to 3 days a week. And those tend, at least two of those days tend to be on site for a client. So, I get ready, and if that's the case, I'm off and I'm usually gone for pretty much most of the day. It's probably about 7 hours or so that I'm gone doing that. And if I'm working remotely, it's a little more flexibility from that standpoint, but that's kind of what my day looks like when I'm working. Otherwise, I'm doing things around the house, and for me, I kind of have a ritual. I call it Money Mondays. So if I'm not doing something on a Monday for a client or I have to be somewhere, that's my finance day. That's the day that I'm kind of, checking in on our finances, doing my updates. I track all of that and I enjoy that. I like finance, so I enjoy doing that. But then, there's the house stuff, right? There's the laundry and the cleaning and, again, paying the bills. For the most part, those are automatic. I don't really spend a lot of time doing that. But then there's the errand days, right? You got to run to the store, you got to go pick up the stuff at the cleaners, different things like that. So those are kind of my other days as well. And every once in a while, my husband and I'll go out to lunch. So that's nice. When it's a day that, both of us are going to be home at that time, obviously. And then for me, I spend time on my YouTube. I enjoy the time. It's my creative time. So I enjoy doing that. Planning for the next video and kind of laying that out and thinking about, what's been going on the week before that I want to talk about. Because really, my channel is just about, reflecting on life after 50. So right now, my focus tends to be on the upcoming retirement, but not all my videos are like that. So I really enjoy that YouTube time. And my husband and I have a YouTube channel on all of our travels that we do, whether that's far or near, But I haven't really been spending a lot of time on that, but that's something I enjoy doing as well. And so those are kind of my during the day activities, right? As for the evening, if I'm on site for a client, I'm usually home by 5:30, 6 o'clock. And we're either, making something for dinner or we're going out to dinner ourselves or meeting some friends or family for dinner. So that's enjoyable. But I'm pretty well done when I get home. I'm not doing house chores, things like that. So for me, it's relaxing time, right? I like to, do dinner. Maybe I'll do, if it's a day I'm not on site for a client, I'll do some additional exercise before dinner. I'll do some walking and whatnot. And then again, like I say, dinner. And then I like watching TV. I like my programs. I like my movies. I watch that. And it's a pretty relaxing evening for both of us, whether we're doing stuff together or individually. So that's kind of how my day currently looks. So, as I said, I've kind of been thinking about, well, how is that going to change? So I've kind of been making a few adjustments already. And that's just kind of me, right? I kind of plan ahead. So even though I'm not yet retired, fully retired, that I'm still making some changes. And I mentioned about the exercise. I've really kind of been looking, I just really what I'm needing. I need to do some strength training. And we all need to do that as we get older. And so thankfully I've just recently found a group that I'm really excited about. So I will share more about that down the road, but it's only been 1 week. It hasn't even quite been a week yet. But there's a virtual community which I really am enjoying. And more for me, those targeted exercises, the strength training exercises. So I've been enjoying that so far. It's a challenge, but I've been enjoying that and I know I need to do that. So I'm really looking forward to when I retire of, being able to spend more time with that. And some mornings when I have to be on site for a client, I'm kind of rushing to get through that or not doing it because I don't have time. I need to get, to the client's office kind of a thing. So I'm looking forward to that. Really having that carved out time that I can make for myself to spend more time on those exercises and keeping in on the virtual community, which I really do love. It's been a great resource. So that's a key thing I'm looking to change. But obviously, with retirement, the big change is when I'm not working for a client, right? I'm able to do things that I want to do for me. So I'm looking at, 2 to 3 days a week that I'm going to have of about 7 hours that I can do more of the things that I really enjoy. And I've talked about, I love history. That's what I do. And so I'm really looking forward to doing more of the research projects on history topics that I really enjoy. And not that I don't enjoy doing the ones for my clients, but again, I'm going to tailor pick what I want to do. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And specifically, not only the research, but I've started a couple projects off and on, and I'll probably talk about those once I retire and kind of get them up and rolling. But things I've started in the past and haven't finished or been able to work on in a number of years. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. And again, just I guess too finding ways to share that maybe some new content that I do on YouTube around that type of research. I'm not sure yet about that, but I'm looking forward to that. So um, that's something that I've been thinking a lot about. And also, time to do some reading. That I think we all probably have that stack of books. Oh, I'm going to read that. That looks great. I'm going to read that. I've got a few of those, and I try and put them by my bed, so I do it and I don't do it. So I need to kind of work that into my new free time, right? So I'm looking forward to that, of course. And time for us, either, myself or my husband and I, hopefully, to be able to spend more time going and doing day trips, locally, regionally, that kind of thing, maybe an overnight type thing. I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, because there's so many things. I think we all have been in that case where, people say, well, have you ever been to this place? It's like, no, I've lived there for 20 years and I've never been there. So I think we all do that. So I'm looking forward to that. We live in a really great area in northern Nevada, so we have so many different things that we can go and see. And again, maybe some of those overnight, one night, overnight type things too. If it's a drive or whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. So fill in some of that time with those type of activities as well. And I mentioned my husband and I's YouTube channel. It's called Out and About with Tom and Sherry, and I haven't really been spending a lot of time on that. And so I'm looking forward to doing that, and doing more of our videos because we're behind. I'm behind. We got a load of videos that I need to do, that I haven't yet. And that's really a lot of fun to do that. So I'm going to be spending some more time on that. So again, a way to be creative, right? And crafts too. There's craft activities that I have that I want to be working on. So I'm looking forward to getting those craft boxes out with all those different things, and finding more time to do that type of stuff. So that'll be great, I think. And another important part for me is helping my parents. My parents really need to downsize, and they have a very large house with, gosh, how long have they lived there? 30 years now. A lot of stuff. So it really is a time to start downsizing, and I can help with that. And I'm really looking forward to having those free days to be able to go and see them and do that. And they only live about 45 minutes away. So that's really convenient. But I don't have a block of time to drive there, spend the day working, and drive home. So, that will give me a lot more time to do that. So I'm looking forward to doing that and helping them go through that stuff, and just getting ready to hopefully move to a smaller place in the future. And I've mentioned I enjoy, I watch my TV programs and a movie or whatnot at night. Maybe I'll watch a movie in the daytime. Imagine that, right? But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And finding something and not feeling like I have to go do something else, and have to stop the movie, an hour in or 30 minutes in because I got something else to go do. So even sitting down during the day and watching a movie. Yeah. But the other part of this is what I'm going to continue to do. I try to be, thoughtful about my days, right? So there are things that are already part of my day that I don't really intend to change. I talked about the slow mornings, quiet mornings, and visiting with my husband, and checking in with the different communities that I have online, and talking to my parents in the morning. I do that too. Not every day, but I do that too. So I'm going to continue to do that. That morning time for me is kind of my time. It's time for me and my husband to just relax, talk about the day, what's going on, what we're looking forward to, what tasks we need to do, whether they're together or individually, the chores we got to do around the house. So that quiet time in the morning, for me is great. And that for me is about a 3.5, 4 hour block of time, which again includes my exercise. So I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm going to expand that a little bit, put more time into that as well. So I'm not planning to change much of that. And as I mentioned, I'm a planner. That's what I do. So I don't see that I'm just going to be sitting around doing nothing. I will continue to plan out my day or the days ahead and kind of, what I'm looking to forward to doing or what needs to get done. Because, it's still, when you retire, it's not like all of these to do projects go away. They're just different and you're choosing to do them differently, I think. So that's going to continue as well. And my relaxing evenings. I've always done that. My husband's a little more interested. He's willing to go shopping after dinner or, go do something else. I'm not like that. After I'm done for the day, I'm done. And I'm at home. So I'm going to continue to do that. I don't foresee that really changing. I enjoy that quiet time, relaxing. Our dinners are relatively slow, even if we go out to eat, which we really enjoy doing. So I can see us continuing to do that as well. So I don't really see a lot changing with that. And like I say, watching my TV programs and just relaxing in the evening, winding down. That's always important to me. And mentally, I think since I get up early, I don't do a lot of mental thinking in the evening. So I'm relaxing. So that's going to continue too. And our traveling. I've shared in some of my other videos that we really plan to start doing more traveling while we can do it. So we've been doing that the last couple of years. And I really don't see that changing a lot, other than, as I mentioned, maybe getting to go do some more of these day trips or a one overnight type thing. That would be great to do that. But in terms of our long term or, traveling far, I think we'll continue to do maybe 3 or 4 a year. If, we can do that. And that's what we're really trying to take advantage of is to take care of doing those things we want to do that are longer periods of time where we're gone, because we're able to do it right now, both, our health as well as my parents, because that could change at any time. So we're going to continue to do that. But, I think all of us, when we think about retirement, I shouldn't say all of us, a lot of us worry that, maybe you'll get lazy. Maybe I won't work on those research projects right away. Maybe it might take a few months before I'm really interested in doing that. I don't know. So that's something that kind of, I guess it would say, it would kind of worries me that I don't want to get lazy. I don't want to not do anything. So, there may be a lag time there, but that's one of the things I think about, but hopefully I won't do that because it's activities that I enjoy doing. I don't feel like I have to do them, but I do think about that. And I don't want to just sit around and not do anything. So I do think about that part. And like I say, the laziness, so to speak, right? But I think, some of the things I've already talked about, my exercise stuff and different activities that we want to do. Hopefully that won't be the case either. But I guess I'm not going to feel too bad if for, the first start of this retirement phase coming up that, maybe it's a little more laid back. So hopefully I won't get too worried about that going forward. The other thing I kind of think about too, kind of in that worry category, is, I've talked about a number of things that I want to do. And, sometimes you feel like, oh, you've got so many options. You just don't, what do I pick? Right. And I kind of mean that in a humorous sense, but, it's like, well, what do I want to work on today? Making that decision, kind of focusing in on that because you have so many options to do. So, that may not be a bad thing to have to worry about, though, right? But overall, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this new part of my life and not working. Now, granted, I've been working part time in my business for a long time, but fully being retired. What am I excited about? I'm mentioned the opportunity to travel a little bit more around here regionally and see some things we haven't seen before, or maybe go visit some places we haven't been in a long time. Um, one thing I thought of the other day, we live near Lake Tahoe, and it's been, gosh, it might, yeah, 20 years maybe, honestly, since I've taken the boat cruise across Lake Tahoe. And I'm looking forward to doing that. So that's kind of an example of something regionally that's, a few hours that we can do. So I'm looking forward, and I'm kind of excited about finding some of those new activities to do. um, and I mentioned about the YouTube. I'm really looking forward to spending more time on my husband and I's travel channel, because again, we're behind, and I need to catch up on those videos. And then we do them together. I do the layout of them and everything, the creative part of it, right? But then we do the talking together, obviously, and it's fun. My husband has a funny sense of humor, and so we laugh a lot when we do those videos. So I'm looking forward to getting to spend more time and getting caught up on our travels that we've had, and sharing those with others. And I mentioned about my parents. I really am looking forward to spending more time with my parents. And granted, it's kind of work, right? And you're downsizing, but sometimes when you're doing downsizing and going through stuff, lots of memories, right? If you've ever had to do that. And so I'm looking forward to that time. And I know there'll probably be some challenges there, and deciding what to keep and what to get rid of, kind of a thing. But I'm looking forward to that, so I'm excited about that part as well. And of course, like I say, my research projects. I have so many different things that I've started and stopped because I had other work that I needed to do for clients. So I'm really looking forward to that. And again, finding ways to share that with others so that others can learn things as well. So I'm looking forward to kind of, considering some of those more creative ways to do that. And of course, spending more time with my husband. We really do enjoy doing things together. And we mentioned the traveling, right? Doing some more of these um, uh, local activities together. We enjoy going to dinner. We enjoy going to lunch on occasion, things like that. So just doing more of that stuff together, I think, will be great. And so I'm really looking forward to that too, in this kind of new routine that I'm going to have here in 40 some days, right? So overall, I'm hoping that this new routine that I'll have, um, there'll be opportunities for me to continue to learn. And that's one of the things I've been fortunate with my career, is that I'm always learning new things. And I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to continue to do that in retirement, new experiences and learning new history things, as I mentioned. So, continuing to learn and expand experiences and opportunities. And also hopeful for knowing that I'm really spending more time on things that I want to do and things that are going to benefit me and my husband and my family. That's the focus. That's where my time is going to be spent. And so I'm hopeful that that will be a rewarding experience at this point in my life as well. And with that in mind, overall, I think just being a little more content, I guess, and knowing that I really am striving to live a life well lived. And as I've mentioned in my other videos, that comes from what I learned from my brother's life, and how he lived his life the best that he could, given his challenges and limitations, but really enjoying life, doing the things that he enjoyed doing. And he's the example for me in a lot of respects for making decisions and choices that allow us to live a life well lived. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So, thanks for joining me today for another Sunday on the porch. And I hope that maybe you'll share in the comments some of the things that really changed in your routine if you retired. But if you haven't, what are you looking forward to? What is your day going to look differently? What are some of those things that will be different in a new daily routine for you once you do retire? What activities and interests will you be able to pursue? So, I hope you'll share in the comments. I do really enjoy hearing other people's thoughts and their experiences. So please take a few minutes and do that. So thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next Sunday for Sunday on the Porch. All right. Bye bye.